Noel Nation. Welcome to another episode of the Renegade Rundown. Our girl Jen Santi is just completely tied up. She has all kind of things going on. She's up to her eyeballs with work. My dogs are going crazy now, but she can't be here. So all the love to our girl Jen up in Memphis, holding it down for us. And make sure you catch her and my guy who's in here filling her seat. Not quite as pretty, but you tell me, ladies, how good he's doing here. But yeah, my guy Tiny Hat CEO's here with me as the number 18 Seminoles take on number 2 or 3, something like that. Oh, Miami Hurricanes coming up the road. One of the greatest rivalries of all sports. It doesn't matter which team is good, which one sucks. It's a great game every year for the most part. We've had a couple blowouts, but this is going to be a good one. The hype around it, you knew it was going to be big before the season even started, but Florida State comes out and puts belt to ass to Alabama. Unfortunately, you dropped the game to Virginia, but here we are. Nonetheless, 2 top 20 teams. Miami, Florida State kicking off with 4.5-point underdogs at home. And we're going to get into it. I'm going to give you a prediction. I haven't asked Tiny Hat, but I'm sure he's down to give a prediction too before we sign off. I've got the phone number queued up. We're going to take phone calls at the end. But I wanted to start the show with a rant on ESPN. You follow the show. We really got into the whole conference thing where Florida State's going, the lawsuit with the ACC, all that good stuff. And game day will not be in Tallahassee. It's at Vanderbilt, Bama. Okay, instead of Tallahassee. Similar rankings. Alabama's way lower than Miami's ranked. Vanderbilt's a couple spots higher than Florida State. I think maybe they might even be lower. I don't know. But it's Vanderbilt, Alabama. I forget who said it. Somebody said a great line. They said you can break down the entire Bama-Vanderbilt rivalry in like 4 sentences, okay? Half the damn NFL Hall of Fame is Florida State and Miami players, okay? It's one of the greatest rivalries of all time. So for them to choose that, it just goes to show just how petty. And to make it even worse and more blatant, this is the hate, is they know that's where all the eyeballs are. They know that's going to be the number 1 game. So it's prime time on ABC with Herb Street. I guess Herb Street and all of them are going to hang out over in Nashville or Bama. I don't even know where it is. I'm guessing Bama. They're going to hang out there and then catch the private jet over to Tallahassee so they can call the game. We get the number 1 crew, just not game day. It's almost like they know Florida State's headed to the Big Ten in a couple of years, and they just don't show them because Florida State makes them more money than anybody. I read a couple breakdowns on a couple articles the other day that looks at what teams make the most money. Well, with the ACC's price tag and divvied up to over 16 teams, Florida State ends up making them more money than anyone because it's cheaper and it's just as good as or better than any product in the SEC or the Big Ten when it comes to TV numbers when things are right. So screw you, ESC, ESPN. It's pretty crazy, but if you're watching, if you're in Tallahassee, if you're going to go to the game, show up to the CBS pregame, the Cover 3 stuff they're having, show up to James's tailgate, all that good stuff when you're in town. But just let's make Doak nuts. I know it's going to be absolutely crazy, but nothing would make me happier than to see ACC Network do better numbers or CBS News do better numbers than Game Day Live for like the first time in history. And Lee Corso will be in Tallahassee, I'm pretty sure. That's what I saw.
Yes, sir.
But they screwed him over and wouldn't, have us for the Bama game week 1 because we were just a sorry 2-10 team. Anyways, you know how that turned out. I wanted to cut a little promo and just get that off my chest. And now I'll turn it to Tiny Hat, CEO, to let him cut a little promo here before we talk some ball.
That's what's up. Yo. Wait, first off, Tiny Hat CEO is back on the Renegade Rundown. Shout out to everybody in the chat out here. Shout out to my FSU Harley Quinn, Jen. I know she's going to end up popping up in the chat on y'all boys, so just be ready for that. We're going to have fun. And everything you said is spot on. It's 100% correct. ESPN is full of it. Kirk Herbstreit is scared. He's scared to come outside. He don't want to be seen in Tallahassee because he know we're going to run down on that. Game Day definitely didn't want to go there because they knew that we were going to have all the signs. They knew we were about to run down on all of that. So I know that that's going to be fire. So they're making a business decision, as they like to say, because they didn't want to throw that hospital ball to Game Day, and we was going to come across there and decleat their ass out here. So we already know how that was going to go.
Oh, yeah. Kirk was just sick, man. Watching that Virginia game, he was pulling Virginia hard because, I don't know. I almost made a joke or made a comment or reference to something else, but I won't. That was a bad decision. I'll just drop that. But yeah, he might have got hit with a hot dog or something at the bare minimum. Like, oh my gosh, I could just imagine with all the hate, him sitting up there on game day with however many 3,000, couple thousand people they let there. That would be hilarious. What are you thinking? How are you feeling, man? I'm gonna let you go first as far as the -4.5, Miami coming to town, the whole storyline in there. Where you at?
Oh no, I'm the same place that I was at before the season. So before the season, I had Florida State going 10-2, ACC title game, and I'm gonna stand on that. If anything, the Bama game ain't do nothing but give me more hype for this squad. That Virginia game, when I said 10-2, the two games that were on the schedule that I kind of looked at as games that we might want to watch out for was actually the Miami game, which is this one, and I said NC State because whenever we go up to NC State, we always have a problem whenever we play up there because that place is just weird. And they always give us a tough time when we go up there. But those are the two games that I was worried about. I didn't see Clemson as a problem. I didn't see Florida as a problem. I wasn't worried about none of those. So when it's coming to Miami, I feel good. I think if our team does what we're supposed to do, Miami can't count on us shooting ourselves in the foot. Virginia got away with it because it was a Friday night game, but I legitimately think that we gonna go in there. We gonna show Miami what's up because Miami ain't done nothing special. Miami hasn't done anything we haven't seen. And if anything, if you really want to be frank with it, Miami has pretty much the same game plan that we have, except we throw the ball downfield and they don't. So I'm not worried about this at all. It's really going to be whose trenches are better. And I think that at home, with our trenches playing the way that they're going to be playing after that ass whooping they took last week, I don't see why I should be worried about anything else. I think we gonna come out here ready to go. And I think Florida State's gonna make everybody in college football remember what we did week one, because you already see them trying to backtrack off of it. So we're gonna do the same damn thing. We're gonna do this all over again. So I'm excited about this.
Yeah, man. Styles make fights, as they say. We saw what happened in Bama week one, and Miami is a whole lot more like Bama as far as not too much razzle dazzle, eye dressing. Like, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to do it well. Beck hasn't shown much or anything of throwing the ball down the field. So it just all comes down to, can we stop the run on first down and second down? If that happens, shit, color me tickled. I think, my opinion on the game, I feel like we need to score 30. If it's a 21-14 or one of those weird 17-12 games, to me, that's probably going to be a sign that Miami got a lead and was able to just run the ball, and case may be. But I really do feel confident that our offense is going to score. The defense, like I said, if it comes out like it did against Bama, if they're hitting all the right gaps, they can make it really tough for Miami to score. Question is, if you get into a shootout, does that defense gas with those big guys leaning on them like we saw in that Virginia game? That's the one thing that I will say is that really transfers, Friday night game or not. The three-man front, and Miami has probably the best offensive line in the country, one of the top three, anywhere you can kind of slice it. You won't know until you see them in a playoff or against us tomorrow night, or so against real competition, to know what it can really do. But yeah, I feel like we need to get into a shootout or just blow their ass out. Maybe like a pick six early or a special teams touchdown. If we can get points on the board, it's going to be tough because all we got to do is make Carson Beck throw, basically, if we want to win this. And if he's having to throw it down the field, I like our chances. I'm not going to give a score or anything yet, but yeah, that's my initial gut feeling, and just looking at it they should be able to line up and hit the gap against Miami, not be kind of so confused, getting a version of kind of what Gus does from Virginia on the road with your head spinning first time on the road. That's Miami in this game. This is their first road game. They're still in the state. They won't leave the state till November, but it is Tallahassee. It is Doak Campbell, Mario's first road game. So that's where my mind is, and we'll get to the predictions later. But your response to that, and I think we got some breaking news for the people too.
Oh no, I'm with you on that 100%. I'm seeing people in the chat saying, Well, Miami showed up against a good Notre Dame team, or Miami showed what they can do against Florida. Florida and Notre Dame are not good. Um, don't let the preseason rankings fool you. And if anything, this season has shown you already that those numbers that are in front of the names of those teams right now don't mean anything. You can go ahead and hang that up. Florida was supposed to be one of the top teams in the SEC. You can clearly see they trash. Notre Dame was supposed to be one of the best teams in the nation, coming off of all of the hype from what they got last year. I don't know why, because they got a brand new quarterback and a whole bunch of players that they had to replace, but they did bring back Jeremiah Love. But that Notre Dame team isn't even that good. So when you're sitting here telling me that Miami has already showed us what they can do against the top team, what top team they played? We the best team that Miami has played, and when we play them, we will have been the best team that they've played all season. So you can't tell me that Miami has shown you what they can do against elite competition yet. I've seen what Florida State can do against elite competition. That Alabama team is probably the best team in the SEC right now. We just saw them stomp Georgia out. And we're gonna see what they do when they play Ole Miss later on in the year. But that Alabama team is probably the best team in the SEC, and we thoroughly handed them boys an L. So I don't know why but they're Shames fans. They Shames fans. That's the answer. They got all of this mouth, and this is what they do. They just come up with all this nonsense, and then they wanna act like we're supposed to give them some sort of credit for something when they haven't done anything to get credit. They still relying on standard definition footage for their credit. Like, don't nobody want to hear none of that. And this is why they do this too much. And our boys finna go out there and run down on that. So just because we went out there and shot ourselves in the foot and lost the game last week, don't mean that y'all gonna come in the tally and do it to us, because y'all gonna have a dogfight on your hands. And I think we legitimately are gonna do what we are built to do. We're gonna run that ball. I think that we're going to be able to attack that Miami secondary because it still hasn't been tested. And then we're going to use the motion. We're going to put our players in position to do what they need to do. And we are going to do something that Miami has not seen all season, which is you run the quarterback. Notre Dame didn't have a running quarterback. Florida's quarterback is scared to run past the line of scrimmage. And USF and who was the other one they played? Who's the other team they played? Exactly. It don't matter. They ain't got no running quarterback like ours either. We got one of the top quarterbacks in the country right now. So we gonna see what Miami is all about tomorrow night. And I think we're gonna come out there and put belt to ass to the boys.
Yeah, man. It would be great to get a classic, 2010s Miami year from them guys where they're undefeated, come to Tallahassee, get that ass whooped, and then they lose like 4 games in a row and give up on the whole season. That would be amazing. But yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, kind of juxtaposing exactly what I said or adding on to it. Because, yeah, like the Florida game was like 14-7 or 13-7 or something going into like the final minutes of the game, fourth quarter, before they blew it open. They didn't score on Notre Dame. That's the thing. Yeah, they've looked great, dominant on defense, and just 3 yards in a cloud of dust on offense, but they haven't been forced to go score. Maybe they can. Maybe it's just going to keep rolling, and they're just going to run it up and down the field. But we'll see, because we've been there before as Florida State fans back in the Jimbo years, where you had some of those smaller, smaller play count is what I was trying to say. You run 50-something plays a game, and you just run the ball. Well, all of a sudden you're playing Clemson and Deshaun Watson. That doesn't work. Like, you got to go match. Or even 2012 against Taj Boyd with EJ Manuel. What we win that game? Like 45-37 or something after being down early. Yep. So that's the position that we're going to put Miami in, hopefully, as long as they don't go up early. We can get some scores. Let's see, Jeff Hill pops in with a super chat, as always.
What up, Jeff?
Up there on the stage for him. Where Jeff always with the I think he's voice to text is what he does.
That predictive text be beating his ass, boy.
Where I think he means to say we're going to show who owns the state. I'm not scared, Carson Beck, in your weak ass arm. Go Noles. I added the ass in there. Jeff did not cuss, but we appreciate the super chat as always, Jeff. But real quick, this is all about Miami, Florida State this week, of course. That dominates the conversation, but we just did get a tight end commit by the name of Corbin Fordham, a guy who I believe his father played at Florida State. He, visited with us, but was just we were 2-10, so it didn't look good there. But all of a sudden, we're trying to flip all kind of teams, guys around. But what do you think about this young guy we just got committed?
Yeah, I think that's actually going to be a good pickup. So the kid is a 3-star tight end, and he had offers from everybody before he committed to Ohio State. If I'm not mistaken, the list that I saw was Alabama, Oregon, Auburn, Miami, Clemson. All of them had him with offers for him to go there, and then he committed to Ohio State. And for us to be able to get that flip, to get a legacy kid in, his dad did play for Florida State back in the '90s, in the mid '90s, was when he played there, and then he went to the league and played. I want to say maybe 10 years or so in the league for multiple teams. So I actually like the pickup, and this is Gus Malzahn and the tight ends coach getting out here and doing a great job of getting that room developed and getting that room flipped over. You know, we got Landon Thomas in there, we got Chase Lofton in there. That tight end room is actually going to be one of the more solid rooms. And of course, with Gus offense, he likes to use his tight ends, and this is something that we definitely would expect to see out of a Gus Malzahn, going out there and getting those type of players. Because Mike also liked to use his tight ends as well. So this is right up the Mike and Gus alley to go get a player like this, and for him to have those types of offers, for him to flip from a program like Ohio State over to Florida State. And then from what I've read about the kid, for him to be as rough as he is, that's the thing about him. He's more of a mauling tight end. He's somebody that's going to get out there, look for contact, knock somebody on their behinds, and secure the ball when it's thrown his way. So I think that's a real good pickup by this offensive staff and by this team overall.
Yeah, the type of dude that Ohio State goes and gets. So I'll take it. It's funny when you go look at his thing. And you swipe down his offer list, they still haven't updated it. Just Florida State, as far as interest, none. But he's now an FSU commit, so pretty cool there. 6'3.5", 215 pounds. He's from the Bowl School over there in Jacksonville. So Florida kid, legacy coming home. Pretty cool stuff, man. You love to see it, and just stay tuned. It's football season, the real recruiting stuff. We'll get going into November, into December. We're going to get closer to signing day. But all of a sudden, when we were dead, left for dead after 2-10, you beat Bama, and all of a sudden everything is right there hype. You got another primetime game in Doak. The Bama game was actually at 3 o'clock. Should have been primetime. Should have been game day. The first go around anyways. But here we are. Freaking unreal. But, man, 4.5-point favorites. I think we'll do our predictions, and then we'll open up the caller lines if anybody wants to call in. You want to go first? You want me to go
first? I mean, I really don't be giving predictions like that. Of course, I'm going to say FSU with a dub. I honestly think we're going to have a nice bounce back game. I think Gus is going to do what he needs to do. I think he's going to run the ball. He's not going to get cute with the ball. That Miami D-line is supposed to be solid. We're going to see how solid they really are. I think he uses his time. I think he uses Tommy in the run game. I think Tommy's going to make the good plays like he's been doing. And I honestly think that based off of everything that I'm seeing and hearing, that Gus is probably going to go tempo so that we can put pressure on that Miami D-line. I think we see a return to form. I think we get out here and we put points up on the board, and I think our defense does enough to stop that Miami offense and that run game that they have there. So I'm gonna say Florida State. I'll say Florida State 34, Miami 21. I got us hanging another 30 points on them boys. And I think that we get out here and get it done. So that's what I'm gonna go with. Even though it is a rivalry game, and I know we have the 3 points here and there and this, that, and the third, I'm not doing that. I want Florida State, and I want Florida State big time. That's my squad right there.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, shout out to the FSU Voice of College Football channel. Me, James Coleman, big game James, former Florida State fullback, touchdown in the 05 Miami game to seal that thing. The legend himself, Mark Rogers, who runs the Voice of College Football Network, and also Cam, the guy who owns and runs State of the U. We had a pretty good conversation about the game. Cam was great. He wasn't trolling or nothing. We had a real good conversation about the game and everything. When it came time to give my prediction, when I said it, his face got this What? Really? I said it earlier. I think we need to score 30 to win the game. Tiny Hat, agrees with his prediction. So my prediction is in a possible overtimes here. This could be a second overtime score. 37-34 no. I think that's how it goes down. I think we got to score quick, maybe get a defensive score, a special team score. If you turn around and it's like 17-7 Florida State going into half or in the second quarter, all of a sudden Mario and Beck, they're going to have to figure some things out. They may score on a couple drives, but they may throw pick sixes too. You don't know. I feel like our offense is more of a known quantity than their defense. They're really hyped about their offense. I get it. But I feel like if you got to go down and score, I'm taking Tommy in a up and down the field dogfight, just because we haven't seen them do that. And how many times have you seen a school that's winning, these 21-14, these close games, all of a sudden they get in one of those score matches and boom, it's off to the races. So that's my score there. Possible overtimes, but Florida State gets it done. Mario Cristobal, tries to run out the clock and fumbles, or finally goes for it on fourth down and doesn't get it, or whatever. Carson Beck has 3rd and 12 in the fourth quarter and he has to throw it, and it gets picked off. Any of those things, I'm taking 3 points just from the coaching. That's what I'm getting. So that gets us at 1.5 on the line. Tommy's giving me another 3 points, and then after that, just a little bit of Doak Campbell for the remaining points, and we get it done. It's just kind of like the Bama game all over again. You just kind of have those butterflies in your stomach. Home field advantage at Doak Campbell. It really is electric. Key to the game: score early, keep Doak live, and that's it. 37-34.
I hear you. Bro. I don't know who Giovanni Foster is, but this man is talking wild reckless in the chat.
We got a corners going nuts.
Our corners are trash. What? Our corners are trash. You outside your mind? Your corners are trash, bro. Like, real talk. Y'all got one good corner and somebody else y'all went and picked up off the scrap heap.
Don't know nothing about y'all's corner.
Like this, you talking to DVU right here. We know how to do this with corners. We know how to handle this out here. Man, we about to put belt ass to them boys. And this is what I'm talking about. See, this is what I'm talking. Let me go on my rant real quick about these shames. All right. I live down here. All right, as y'all know, I've been saying this for a while. I live down here. And all they do is talk about how great they were, how they're the U is back, and right? They do all of that garbage. You know what? Let me explain to y'all why, as a Florida State fan, I laugh when I hear these Miami Hurricanes fans talk. All right. See, because the Shames don't actually have as good of a record as you think they do. Take the 80s out of this real quick, right? So they got in this league in 2004. In 2004, and when they came to the ACC. So let's go over this. Since 2004, Florida State's got a 13-8 head-to-head record against Miami. So you ain't beating us head-to-head over this since you've been in the conference. We busting your ass. All right. We got a 7-game win streak on y'all in that same time frame. All right. We got 1 natty. You got 0 in that time frame. All right. 5 ACC titles. You got 0 in that time frame. All right. The last time y'all beat us at Doak was in 2019. And you can blame that on Willie Taggart, right? So when y'all sit here and do all this gum bumping out here, since you got in this conference, you haven't been relevant, sir. Y'all haven't done a damn thing to run your mouths the way you run your mouth. But then they go, oh, the history. We got this, we got that, the history, right? Okay, well then let's talk about your history. I see Jeff Hill right there. You'll get that super chat off real quick. Shout out to Jeff Hill, Mr. Big Ears himself.
I'm having trouble, Jeff, getting it up on the screen right there with all these changes to my streaming service here, but I got you locked in. The $10 super chat from my guy, Jeffrey Hill. I'm 52. The last time Miami has been relevant and won anything, I was in my mid-20s, and Blockbuster was a thing, and I had a VCR.
Talk, Jeff Hill. Yeah. And I'm glad you said that, because let's talk about your history, right? Let's talk about the history. They always want to go, oh, we got the all-time record, the all-time head-to-head.
Yeah, they won 9 of the first 10 in the fucking 50s.
Right. It's 36-33 all-time, right? But if you eliminate the games where black people couldn't play, Florida State is winning 30-29. All right. So y'all out here really taking credit for wins before black people could play college football? This what we doing? This is how bad y'all got to do this? Nah, I'm not having this. And then to make it even worse, if you really want to look at it all the time, we got not one, but 2 7-game win streaks against y'all. 2 of them, if y'all really want to talk about it, from 63 to 72, and then again from 10 to 16. So when you want to go all time, we still giving y'all boys this work. So what we talking about? I said, Florida 70 in the chat said Miami basically a white campus. We gonna touch that. Just wait. Right. But then I said, you know what? Let me go back and continue to hit up my Georgia Tech contacts and have the Tiny Hat Research Squad get out here and break these numbers down even further. Because I need to know, when was the last time Miami was actually relevant? When were they relevant? I went to the numbers. And you know what? One of my favorite shows is PTI. I'm going to go to the glasses on this real quick.
Oh, no, he didn't.
I'm gonna go to the glasses on y'all boys real quick. Let me bust the glasses out real quick, because y'all boys out here bullshit, right? Looking like blank man up here for you. All right. Let's go by decade. Okay. In the 90s, Florida State's got 109 wins. The Shames only got 92. So Florida State's been better than y'all in the 90s. Okay. In the 2000s, Florida State has 95 wins. The Shames got 92. That was where we had the lost decade. Remember the lost decade? We still had more wins than y'all that one. In the 2010s, Florida State with 96 victories. Y'all got 75. And now in the 2020s, y'all finally got us at 41 to our 36. And this is with us taking a year sabbatical off in the year of 2024 for y'all to even have that happen. We would probably have 5 or 6 more wins, maybe even 7 to 8 more wins if we played football last season. So when y'all sit here and tell me that y'all are the better program out of the both of us, I went back 30 years, and I cannot find a time where your team was a better program than mine. We got more wins than you do. We got more natties than you do. We got more conference titles than you do. And the head-to-head over that time frame, we own that over y'all. So when y'all sit here and we're talking about how great y'all are, when was it? The 80s? Are you talking about before I was born? Is this what we talking about? We talking about when Prince and Purple Rain, Prince of the Revolution was out here doing work? We got to go back to when they were out here wearing tight-ass crushed velvet suits in these streets to talk about the last time y'all were a better program than Florida State. Get your asses out of my face with all of this nonsense. Y'all boys is garbage. And y'all mad because you know what it was? I know what this is. Y'all are like Al Bundy. All right? Y'all like Al Bundy. Y'all were good back in the day. Y'all like Uncle Rico. Not even Al Bundy. Al Bundy's the man. Y'all like Uncle Rico. Y'all were good back in the day, but your time has passed, old man. Your time has passed. We are on the bigger and better things. And y'all mad because y'all see us ascending. We can see that by the numbers on TV. We can see that by the conferences that's trying to come poach us away from this dumpster fire that we in right now. A conference that is a dumpster fire because of the gasoline and the kindling that y'all brought in, right? Y'all was supposed to be somebody to come in to help elevate this conference, and y'all ain't do nothing but be just as garbage as ever. Y'all came into this conference pure trash. When you got out the Big East, you came over here and you ain't do nothing but poo all over the bed. You peed in the bed for the last 25 years. That's what you've been doing, right? So I don't know where all of this is coming from, but Miami can't hold my jock strap when I'm wearing these garnet and gold colors right here. Y'all boys ain't worth my time, but y'all stay running y'all mouths. Go sit down somewhere with all of that mess. Giovanni Foster, all right? Go check your history, as my boy Deshaun would say. Go check your history, because if you look at the history, Florida State's been smacking that ass like a newborn baby for the last 30 years, and y'all boys ain't got nothing to show for it outside of that. I'm off y'all boys. I'm done with them. I'm gonna put belt ass.
Tell them, man. It's crazy. It really is. The fact that you have the best quarterback in the entire country last year, and it's not fucking close. It was Cam Ward and like a giant gap in everybody else. And you lose 3 ball. What, did they lose 2 or 3 ball games? 2 ball games at least. You missed the freaking. You can't even make the ACC championship game in a year when FSU is 2-10 and Clemson and SMU backdoor their asses in there, or not SMU, they were good, they were 11-1. Clemson backdoors their way in there because you just drop a shit against Georgia Tech, and who else did they lose to? Syracuse?
Syracuse with a 21-point win. They were up 21-0, and they
The
lost.
best quarterback in the country. You can't salt that game away. Somehow, up 21-0. It's like, well, we couldn't run the ball last year, by God. We're going to run it this year. But now we can't pass. That's where they're at. We'll see, man. We'll see if y'all can finally get over the hump. But, yeah, it's been a long, long time. That 2017 season, another capitalizing on a year when FSU's down but not doing jack all with it. That was one of those Clemson playoff runs back in the day. Another real program in the last 20 years. You have to go all the way back to 2000 and before, as Tiny said. It's crazy that 2000 is almost 30 years away, by the way. I mean, you all talk about making somebody feel old. I'm right there with them Canes trophies right now, feeling old as shit.
Hey, me too. Me too. When I started looking at them numbers, I'm like, wow. And then the wild part is, and this is the thing that gets me about it. It's not just Miami. If you actually go back and look at the numbers of the big three over this since 1990, Florida State is the better of the three programs. We got 3 national titles. Florida also has 3 over that time frame, so we can watch that. Miami since then only has 2. They only got those 2, right? ACC titles. We have more ACC titles than Florida has SEC titles, and then Miami has conference titles as well. So we up on them in conference titles. We have more wins over Florida and Miami as well over that same time frame. So when these two programs start to run their mouths about how great they are and how we're little bruh and how we're the second tier program or the second ranked program or this, that, and the third, even with the ups and downs that we've had, the lost decade, the year that we took off last year, and all of the other things that went into that, the Taggart years, we still are a better program than both of them. It's not even close. So I don't know where these people get off talking reckless to us. This is like Texas A&M trying to talk trash to Texas. Like, who are y'all? Right? I can't believe this. This is like UCLA trying to talk trash to USC. Like, really? This is what
they ain't got their own stadium.
Right? You ain't even got your own stadium. The boys play in the stadium where they have to give tickets away. As a matter of fact, I just used 2 Miami tickets to wipe my mouth when I went to McDonald's earlier today. They just giving them joints. So they like napkins down here. You can walk down the street. They give them joints away. They're like, hey, bro, hey, I got 2. You can just take 2 of these if you want. You want these? They Hurricanes tickets. Like, get away from me with this, man. Get away from me with this. That's what this is. That's a plebeian ass program. And then on top of that, the same ones who be running their mouths all the time about the squad, about that program, are the same ones they can't even go to the campus. They can't even cross the city limits to go over there to see what the campus look like. They've seen that campus up close and personal the same way Florida State fans see it on TV. They're not allowed to go over there.
Private institution.
I've been to that campus. I've been on that campus. I've done business with that campus. I know what that campus is. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. It's a beautiful place. Y'all won't know what it looked like because you can't go see it with your own 2 eyes. It might as well be the Great Pyramid of Giza because your sorry ass ain't gonna ever make it over there to take a look at it. You looking at it in books and on TV. That's what it is. Go sit down somewhere, man. Go sit down somewhere. Talk about some golden some natties. Hey, did you not just hear what I said? Kane's life. Since 1990, we got 3. How many you got? We got more natties than you over this last 30 years, Playboy. You got to go back to when my mama was in college, when my mama was in high school to talk about the natties that you won. Man, go sit down somewhere. Go sit down somewhere. He probably wasn't even allowed to see them natties that they got. He saw 1 in 01 and he running his mouth about the one he saw. That's what that is. That's what this is. That's what this is. Sorry ass team. They got me mad. I'm mad over here now. We're finna beat their ass.
By the way, if you guys have any questions, you can drop them in the chat. We'll try to bring it up. Anything besides, Miami guys chalking trash, we'll probably bring that up too. But yeah, if you have any questions about anything, or if you want to call in, the number's up there on the screen. I don't know if you guys saw it. It's scrolling across there. We haven't done a call-in show in a while.
Pick up the phone.
If you guys want to pick up the phone, pick it up. We'll get you on the show. If you got a hot take or a question, or you just got some trash to talk, whatever, we'll give you a minute. As long as it don't get too crazy, you got your minute to talk whatever you got to get off your chest. and we'll keep it pushing.
He talking record. Look at him emotional. Look at him emotional. We're look at he's like we're universities like a quarter the size of yours. I don't want to hear none of that.
Come on.
I don't want to hear none of that. Oh, I couldn't get accepted. You know what's funny, sir? If you really want to know, I was actually accepted to all three of those universities: the Florida State, and Miami. If we really want to talk about it.
This guy said he got accepted just to burn the admission letter.
Like I don't have time for none of that. I don't have time for none of that. Like these boys are nuts out here. Like I said, I've been to that campus. I guarantee you, he can't even tell me what street that campus on without googling it because he ain't never been there before. He knows some of them buildings are white. That's what he knows. He knows that U Health exists because he probably went to the hospital for getting slumped by a Florida State fan the last time we were down here. That's what that is.
Hey, bringing up hospitals, did you see that news the other day where Florida State's about to acquire like Tallahassee Regional Hospital?
They got. They said that the city council or whatever it was
voted 3-2
Florida State to buy it. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I think it might be just a good thing for Florida State trying to go to the Big
baby. Medical research.
Making the moves.
Let's talk about this for a second because, I heard Jimbo Fisher talking about the conference stuff a little bit today. And we've done so many in-depth episodes and talked with lawyers and different money people and former CEOs and all that stuff, venture capital. We've had the gamut of people, NFL players, everything, former coaches. We've had all kind of people on here, sometimes 6 people at a time, sometimes just one person breaking down the minutia of the lawsuit and where we're going and all this stuff. Got to talk to Michael Alford a couple times in person. He was going to come on the show last year, and then we went 2-10 and everything fell apart. Hopefully we can get him on here at some point in time. But if you follow Michael Alford and all of his different things, and you got to be a hardcore Florida State person to be catching all the podcasts that Mike Alford goes on and all his, calls that get published with the boosters and things of that nature. But everything he does, he gives these hints about the Big Ten. There's been so many moves made, sending players every year, 2 players every year to the Big Ten Leadership Conference. Every 2 months, there's some new thing about research, and we're going to have this much research, and we're about to get AAU certified. And they're building a hospital, I think, over here towards Pensacola somewhere, I think, and then another one, down south. And now you find out they're going to buy. Like, I wonder if this takes place of the $50 million medical research facility they were supposed to build, like, close to campus. I wonder if now they're just purchasing that or if that's an addition. Like, what the fuck? Why would we be doing that shit if we're trying to go to the SEC or stay in the ACC? Like, it just – so if you're still in denial, even with all the dates and how miraculously you come out of the court date and all of a sudden the buyout disappears the year that Big Ten is restructuring and it's supposed to go to 2024. If you don't believe it now, I don't know what to tell you guys if you're ever going to believe it. But, Jimbo Fisher, like I said, I saw something. I think it was War Chant was talking to him. If it was 247, sorry, guys, whatever. Anyways, long story short, he was talking about how it really is unfair. You got Florida State, Clemson, even Miami. It's been a long time, but these national programs that if you add them all up, Clemson, Florida State, Miami, that's 11 national championships. The last 40 years, that's 25% of all national championships won by 4 teams in one conference. But it's SEC and Big Ten. They're the only 2 games in town. And because the ACC is what it is, Florida State gets paid the same as Wake Forest. Whatever our deal is, 30, 40 million less than everybody else. Meanwhile, Indiana and fucking Illinois and all these small schools that have no history, no legacy, no, bunch of national championships, they're getting, they're about to get $100 million in a couple of years. It's just not right. He was kind of hinting at some kind of like where it's just one big media contract and the heavy hitters get a certain amount and it's fair that way. Like your Florida State, you get it. Like ESPN, they have SEC and ACC. Like they're both their things. It's all. So why not just, Bama, Florida State, Texas, whoever brings the eyeballs or the champion, whatever you want to say, make a certain amount. Because it's just not right for Duke and Florida State. Like if you tie Florida State to Duke's purses and their amount of money to spend on football, meanwhile, Indiana's all of a sudden getting $100 million Well, shit, all of a sudden they're going to be battling new recruits, because of NIL and everything else. So it's an untenable situation. We're going to see in a couple years. My prediction is obviously Big Ten, but yeah, it's great to see us come back, and I want us to really kick ass the next couple years, and even Miami too, because I could see Miami leaving when the big change happens. I hope, Clemson unfortunately is falling off, but let us be at our top of our game and let them see what they're losing on, what they could have built around. It really is sad because the ACC could have went smaller and just went with heavy hitters instead of adding SMU and whoever the hell else after absorbing half the Big East and everything else and all these teams. Like, it is what it is. At the end of the day, you saw it week 1 against Bama. You're going to see it tomorrow night. There is no hotter ticket in football at Florida State. Whether you hate them, which over half the country hates them, or you're part of the 20% of the country that loves Florida State, or the 1% like me and Tiny Hat who are obsessed with it, it's primetime TV. Everybody knows it. That's why all the movies that get made about football is randomly something to do with Florida State. It's like maroon and gold. Every coach, you watch, who's that coach? Oh, are they trying to make him look like Bobby Bowden? Yeah. That's what it is. Everybody knows the former core Florida State quarterback. That's just how it goes. Here's one thing you're like. Have you checked out the new Chad Power show? Tell me that.
I have not. What is this one?
Okay, so you remember when the Rams quarterback, damn it, I forgot his name. The Rams quarterback who ended up going to the Lions and did all right for a couple of years. I have no idea where he's even at now. Jared Goff. Okay. Jared Goff put on like a prosthetics and a wig and went to a JUCO practice. Acted like he was walking on and was just throwing 50-yard out routes and fucking 70-yard posts and shit over everybody's head, right? Kind of like a punk thing. Well, they made a whole show around this. His alias was Chad Powers. Okay. Well, this Chad Powers was an Oregon quarterback. The poor Oregon Ducks who can't keep a coach. They finally got a coach that they're going to keep. They got all the money in the world. You pay the coach one thing, you pay him another $30 million off the books. Okay, all these things. You're building another football-only facility on top of your football-only facility to complement the subterranean bunker you have for the football team to go and do things. For whatever reason, they need 10,000 square feet of football facility and all that. That's their thing up there in Eugene, Oregon. But they can't win the big game. That's just the thing. Whatever. They're good. They're going to be ranked. They're going to do high-flying offense, but they just don't have the title. They just can't get over that hump. Every time you think they're going to get there, 2014, bam, you run into a freight train and you piss down your leg. You get blown up. You thought Florida State, you beat them, you were good. No. So the opening scene of the show is Oregon, Georgia, and the quarterback drops the ball going across the goal line. Georgia picks it up and goes the other way 100 yards, and that's how the guy falls out of grace, and it starts the whole show. But I just thought it was hilarious that Oregon okayed that. We're only relevant for the first 2 minutes of the show. It doesn't make two shits that he was an Oregon quarterback. The rest of the time, he's just disgraced and knocked over a crippled kid and all this stuff. The show still happens, but okay, the guy's a real asshole. Knocking over a Make-A-Wish kid. He dropped the ball and ends up. You lose a national championship game. I found it crazy they okayed that, given that that's the proverbial monkey on their back. They just can't get over the hump. They can do everything, in season, highlights, Heisman winners, all that shit, but they just can't win a national championship. And they thought that was cool. So shout out for Oregon getting a little Hollywood love. A little different than when, it's Burt Reynolds or, the program for Florida State. But yeah, I thought that was hilarious. I just started laughing as soon as I seen it was at Oregon.
That's a damn shame. So even in Fantasyland, Oregon still can't get over the hump. That's crazy. That's crazy. Them boys is trash. I can't believe this. But a shout out to Oregon for at least being able to laugh at themselves. Unlike this sorry ass Miami Hurricanes fan that I'm lighting up in this chat right now. Yeah, I done sent his old ass to bed. He over there mad now. Get out of here. He over here mad as hell. These Shaves fans are the worst.
His comments just kept getting softer and softer, and finally he was like, "Oh yeah, well, y'all are just okay if y'all beat us and lose every game." I'm like, dude, what are you talking? You're just you're emoting. You're giving your inner monologue out there because that's Miami. The whole time Jimbo Fisher was here, them motherfuckers would be top 10 coming to Doak or top 10, and we're going to Miami, and they're gonna do this and do that. Jimbo would beat them boys' ass, and they lose 5 games straight every year.
Jimbo won 7 on them boys, and they really have the audacity to open their mouths and talk about somebody. Man, come on. Mike put up 3 on y'all. Like, what?
Hey,
Like, what?
Doak beat them in 17 too. I mean, in 17 with James Blacksman, if they hadn't hit that go route, it was going to be that ass. Because they wasn't going to hit that field goal. You know, Mario, or that wasn't even Mario back then. What am I talking about?
You know what's funny about this? So, the ACC, all right, the trash ass ACC, right? They put out 2 videos today. Did you see the videos they put out?
I did not.
All right, so they put out 2 Florida State Miami videos. The first one they put out was like Florida State Miami, the rivalry, the ACC. But every single highlight they showed was all Florida State beating their ass and showing Florida State. That's all it was. And it got so much negative reaction on Twitter that they pulled the video down and they put another video up, and it was literally a whole bunch of the same highlights from Florida State, but then they started putting some of the Miami Hurricanes players, like them walking out of the tunnel, and them, like it looked like recruiting videos of their players dancing around and stuff on the field. That was it. It was the funniest thing in the world. I'm like, even your own conference know who the big boys are on the block. It was hilarious. It was literally a minute and a half of Florida State Miami highlights, and it was all Florida State like busting their ass in the ACC championship game, trophies going up. It was showing, you would see Bowden doing this, Jimbo doing this, and then when it showed Miami, they couldn't show no Miami ACC highlights because they couldn't show Jimmy Johnson up there. They couldn't show Coker up there. They couldn't show any of the players from that 01 team. They had like a couple of pictures of like Brad Kaya.
Well, they didn't want the highlight video to be in like so grainy, They wanted to have some HD highlights in there. K-Dog 350, shout out, he corrected me. It was a similar skit. Chad Powers was actually Eli Manning when he went to Penn State undercover. So yeah, that's my bad. Giovanni Foster, he's limping in with a couple more comebacks. He said, "Is Jimbo still there?" But just to add on to, Tiny Hat pointed out that this is the first technical decade, if you want to call the 20s a decade, that Miami's up 46 or 41 to 36 or something like that. But they are not up in the rivalry. No, it's 3-2. You're keeping score. They got to win in 2014, or 2024, but it was 3 ass whoopings before that. If you want to count the COVID year when Mike wasn't even down there, he couldn't even go, he couldn't travel to play. I say Mike's 3-1 against Miami. So yeah, just hold your horses, guys. It's going to be all right.
I mean, listen, we 13-8 on them boys since they joined the conference, but they still want to run their mouths.
Well, they and they're pretty close. Like when you named off those wins the past couple of decades, it's not like we had except for in the 10s, we had 20 more. But
the 90s and the 10s.
For the past 15 years, they win games sometimes, but they just never cash it in for anything. It might be close in the wins, but yeah, Florida State went 2-10 one year. Yeah, sure they did. But the year before they went 13-0, won an ACC championship. Should have won the college football playoff. Never got that opportunity, but that wasn't nothing they did.
And the year before that, won 10 games. Again, you can say what you want, but Florida State stayed doing work. We were at the top of the mountain, fell to the depths of despair, and got back to the top of the mountain before the U returned. Before the U was
man. If we can win the ACC, I want it if no other reason to win the ACC this year, just to be able to say that Florida State's back before the U again. How many things are going to come back? How many Hollywood remakes, from the 90s or the 2000s when they were relevant, are going to get remade? I think Gremlins, there's a new Gremlins. We got a new Goonies coming up. What's next? They've almost remade everything. But Jeffrey Hill comes in with the $5 super chat. You're lucky the playoffs went around in the 90s. We would have won 6 national titles.
Facts.
Yeah, I mean, top 4 for 14 years in a row? Mm-hmm. You'd have been in every 14 playoff. Never mind the 12-team playoff. Mm-hmm. Wow. Man, could you imagine a 12-team playoff and Florida State's the 1 seed and you're the 12 seed? You got to play them in round 1. That poor team would have got just dusted off the field in them days. Oh my God, number 12.
They didn't want no parts of that. Think about them. Think about them teams in the '90s. You had the Charlie Ward teams, with Warwick Dunn doing work. I mean, then you go to the Derek Brooks squads that we had after that. I mean, you talking about big time, and that's before we get to P Dub and Winky and all of them boys doing work. What? Oh man, Florida State. If they had a playoff in the '90s, Florida State would have been the team of the decade. Hell, we damn near was the team of the decade.
No, we were the team of the decade
with our 2 national titles, bookend in that.
You had Nebraska had a little time, Notre Dame had a little time, Florida won their national title, but for the '90s, it was the Noles, the most consistent, dominant team. Played in 5 national titles in the '90s?
I think so.
Because it makes 6 if you add the 2000.
Who? Nebraska or Florida State?
I think Florida State. I know he played in 6 national titles total. So
I
guess 5.
So I know '98 we played Tennessee. '99 we beat Vatek. 2000 was the Oklahoma game. No, Oklahoma. Vatek was '99.
Oh yeah.
Oklahoma. That was when they got us. And then
I get messed up on the years because you play the '99 game in 2000. Excuse me.
Yeah, so '98, '99, 2000. It was 3 of them. It was Tennessee, Vatek, and then Oklahoma. And then the other ones we won in '93, and then we went back in 13. So yeah, we up there.
Well, '96 we lost to Florida.
And '96 we lost to Florida. Yeah, but they shouldn't even been in there.
Just erase that from our memories there.
Yeah, I don't speak Spanish. Giovanni Foster say, if Florida State lose tomorrow, what I'm gonna say. First off, we not losing. And even if we did lose, I'm gonna pull up Miami and go, why you bringing up old shit? Why you gotta talk about old shit?
I've seen that comment. I was just gonna say tune into the roast on Monday. If that happens, but tune in either way, because if we win or lose, the roast is going to be lit one way or the other.
Pull up on Monday and watch. You're going to see what I'm going to say on Monday. Pull up on Monday and you'll see what my response going to be after we put belt to ass to that shit. You can be in my chat, Giovanni. We're going to see.
People are shy. Nobody's calling in. You're running out of time, guys. We're almost at an hour. It's FSU Miami Hate Week. So if you got any questions, you got a little scruff on your balls, Javari Foster, you could even call in and talk to the shit.
He can't call. He got a Boost mobile phone. Right? That's what that is. Got his phone in the barbershop. He can't call in like that. That's not how that works. These Shames fans,
Cricket Wireless.
Yeah, they don't want
Cricket Wireless because when he tries to make the call, it's just crickets. Something like that.
I love it. He said he's gonna pull up on Monday, Giovanni Foster. I welcome it. I love it. I will say this though. As much as I can't stand Miami and I can't stand y'all, I do want to give them credit for being the team that just talks absolutely the most trash of any fan base in the country. They are hands down the worst fan base. That's the only reason that I hate them more than I hate Florida. It's because their fan base is the worst.
Hey, man.
That's the only credit you're gonna get out of me because it's hate week, baby. We finna put belt to ass to them ugly ass colors they got tomorrow. I can't wait.
No bullshit. I had to watch the Cover 3 podcast when I got off work because our friend of the show, Bryant McFadden, is on there, the legend Bud Elliott, one of the OGs in this FSU shit. And of course Danny Cannell, the quarterback, who Danny Cannell, man, he had a decent career. But just imagine if they hadn't redshirted Randy Moss and Peter Ward, what they could have done in '95. I'll just stop that. But long story short, they had an interview portion. It was at Mad Social in Tallahassee in College Town, if you're not familiar. They had people coming up to the mic doing trivia, asking questions, whatever the case may be. And a Miami fan came up there, and the question was asked, who has the better fan base? He said, Florida State, hands down. I mean, he didn't hesitate under all the pressure. And he wasn't just kissing ass. Like, he was going back and forth with them. He was all about his Miami NFL players and this and that and historic, all the shit you hear, all the buzzwords. But no, when they asked fan base, he was just like, no, it's Florida State hands down. I mean, just go look at the Bama tape. Go look at Oklahoma back in the day in 2010 and 2011. Go look at any of the tape. Doak Campbell. I hate it. Y'all lost the Orange Bowl. I don't know, if y'all could go back in time and not destroy the Orange Bowl and upgrade it like Florida State has done Doak, who knows what Miami would have been. Maybe they would have been something different. But yeah, I'll go to my grave saying just like, How are you supposed to become a Titan in college football and you ain't got your own stadium? You got to take a bus. Like Clemson does it as a novelty. They drive around their stadium. Florida State might drive from the hotel to the stadium. But these guys literally got to take a 30-minute bus ride.
At 8:30, bro.
Tough.
At 8:30. I'm telling you, I live here. From Coral Gables to Miami Gardens, what that is. It may say 30 or 45 minutes, or it may say 30 minutes on the maps and all of that joint. No, that is legitimately an hour drive because it takes forever with traffic. That's why you see people so mad. They don't like going to the games. The tailgate down there, I will say this, though. Now, I'm going to give Miami credit for this. This is the only thing I'm going to give Miami credit for with that stadium. They tailgates are nice. They really do come out there and do work with the tailgate. You can go out there and get you some conch salad. You can go down there and get you some nice Caribbean dishes. They be down there grilling. People in the tailgates are nice. But getting to that stadium and getting out of that stadium is terrible. Even with it half filled, it's still terrible. Terrible to get in and out of there.
Mike Barnes dropped the $2, says the U is not back, the U is whack. But no, I'm with you, man. I mean, a good neutral site tailgate at a pro stadium, yeah, I'm sure it is great. I'm sure everything there at Hard Rock Casino, owned by the Seminole Indians, by the way. I'm sure the Seminole tribe of Florida has some amazing amenities, seating. I love how they won't let them put any Miami shit up on the building.
It's hilarious.
But like,
it's hilarious.
You can't practice in your stadium. You can't do your walkthroughs without like begging, like, hey, can we please maybe Monday you think you guys will be cleared out? Oh, Monday Night Football? Oh, we definitely can't get in the fucking stadium. Like, do they just do everything in that little 50-yard practice? Like, is it all like do they have practice fields? Like, it's like they show up to an away game every week, you know?
Because
they would have no idea what it's like to practice and pump in crowd noise in the exact place where you're going to play that night. And again, that just goes into that home field advantage that Florida State has at Doak. So get ready tomorrow night, guys. 37-34 Knowles. Book it.
Damn right. Listen, I'm with you on that. And the wild part is the Dolphins are the main tenants of that stadium. Miami not even third. The second tenants in that stadium are whatever concerts they feel like putting on. It's whatever concerts they feel like putting on.
Concert.
Let Beyonce and the Hurricanes try to schedule something on the same day. I guarantee you, Hard Rock will get that to Beyonce. Let Taylor Swift and the Miami Hurricanes try to book that stadium on the same day. Don't be surprised if you see a whole bunch of teen girls out there at the Miami Stadium while they mad and trying to go play somewhere else. I'm dead ass serious. Let Miami fans get a little too rowdy at that stadium and they want to talk reckless. Them boys gonna be playing down at FIU Stadium. That's where they're gonna end up playing.
What's the MLS team down there?
No, that's Inter Miami, but that's not even in Miami. That's actually in Fort Lauderdale.
But they have their own stadium, so I believe so. I misspoke. I didn't want to denigrate those guys. Shout out to Inter Miami. You guys do have your own stadium. You can practice in your stadium. My bad. Mike Martz just hit another $5 super chat. That's the only thing Miami is probably good at: tailgates and off-season championships. Hey, that guy knows ball. What can I say?
But yeah, it's Inter Miami has a stadium, and their stadium is actually that's actually not too far from where I am. It's about 15 minutes north of where I am in downtown. But they even with that stadium, like the Hurricane, when they were talking about building a stadium, it like damn near caused the entire county of Dade County to shut down when they were saying, well, they want a stadium because they already gave where their old stadium was to the Marlins. So they were looking for a stadium. They were like, oh, well, we can build it in Fort Lauderdale. It's like, wait a minute, you go have the Miami Hurricanes playing in Fort Lauderdale, and that's legitimately an hour and a half. Could be 2-hour drive if you driving from Coral Gables during rush hour to get up there. Are you crazy? It was nuts down here. That's why I just laughed.
There's a chat trying to clown the concerts that get put on at Doak as if it's some kind of fucking concert revenue.
I'm telling you, like, what?
We care. We're not. Why would Beyonce want to come to Tallahassee? You're right. You got Miami. Y'all are in Miami. But you're not in Miami. You're in Coral Gables, and the stadium. Like, don't get me wrong. That's kind of what we're saying. It's cool. Like the place you end up is a great place, but it'd be like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of any other example of a team having to do that. It's crazy. Like I just couldn't imagine.
No, I don't. I don't.
It's not college football, you know. It's just not. There's supposed to be a campus attached.
And I like the thing is like I've been to games at that stadium when they play there. And it's not like the Dolphin Stadium is straight. I mean, it's cool. It's an NFL stadium, and it is not as packed as you would think it is when you look at it on TV. And the only time that stadium is legitimately packed is if it's Notre Dame, if it's Florida State, or Florida. That's it. If let Clemson come down here, it's not going to be packed. Let any other teams come down here. It is not packed at all. They can be undefeated. I guarantee you this right now. Let Miami be undefeated one year, and they're going into the last game of the season, and it's some also-ran team. That stadium will be a quarter full. It'll be half full. That's just how it is.
No, Florida State is the only thing that packs Hard Rock. That's it. When Florida State comes to town, all the haters show up, and a bunch of Florida State players show up. Wilmer brought up UCLA in the chat. Yeah, we mentioned them earlier. That's probably the worst situation, them sharing the Coliseum with USC. That's lost a little bit of its luster over the years, but that's California. Like, I mean, UCLA, yeah. If you want to, tit for tat Miami and UCLA, I'm for that. But yeah, Miami has a little bit more. I'll say they had a little bit more football gravitas than UCLA, especially right now at this point in time. There's no doubt. Well, I'll give them that. I will give them that. I don't like. Is there anybody in the world who gives a shit about UCLA? That's the problem with the Pac-12. That's why it exploded. I mean, it was always propped up by them playing the teams in the East and competing because people just don't care in LA about football. There's too much other shit going.
And that's the thing. Like even with USC, like it was really only hot like that in the early 2000s, and then after that, it fell off of a cliff. Even when Lane Kiffin was there, he was putting up points. No, that USC thing, I don't think it's going to come back that way because Lincoln Riley can't get that. Is it Lincoln Riley? Ain't he the one out there right now? Is Lincoln Riley their coach out there?
Yes. I think I got a caller. I'm getting them lined up here real quick.
Okay, even with him out there, I don't think USC is going to come back the way they think it is, especially just with the way that college football is going. But I saw somebody in the chat said, they were at Miami. Said Similar Express said he was down in Miami before they tore down the Orange Bowl. A lot of memories went down in that stadium. It was sad. And I'm gonna tell you this: I grew up down here. I've been to that stadium, to the Orange Bowl. I've been to that stadium plenty of times, rooting against Miami and seeing how that goes. When that stadium was on, it was on. When that stadium was hitting, it was hitting. I was there at the game when Devin Hester ran back those two punt returns or kick returns against Christian LaFours and Louisville. When Louisville was in there doing work, and I watched as half the Miami crowd started whooping the Louisville fans' asses underneath the stadium when the game was over. So that place was legitimately Miami. What they got now, that ain't Miami. That's some old high-profile nonsense that they can do better than.
Worst mistake they ever made. I didn't think to get the caller's name, but let the people know who you are. And I think he said he had a question for us. Go ahead. You're live on the Renegade Rundown.
Yeah, man. What's up, George? I mean, this is Derek out of my city. Man. So what do you guys think about tomorrow? Is there more pressure on Malzahn and the offensive scheme with those two Miami defensive ends or Tony to, make up for what happened on Friday night?
That's a damn good question. You want to give a quick response, Tiny?
Yeah, so I don't think it's going to be pressure on Malzahn. I don't think Malzahn's going to feel any pressure at all because his offense hasn't been the problem. Every game that they've played this season, the offense has been fine. He's just going to figure out what he's going to come out with a game plan, and they execute this game plan. I think he's going to come out there and be on point with it. The two defensive ends that Miami got, that D-line in general that they have with the backers, it's just going to be the next test for them. Are we going to be able to get our guys in space? Are we going to be able to use that motion? Are we going to be able to use the quarterback's legs the way that we've been doing all season long? I think the answer is going to be yes, because they're gonna have to line that shit up. But I don't think the pressure's on Malzahn. If the pressure is on anybody in this game, it's going to be on Tony White. It's going to be on that defense, especially that front seven, because the front four, well, two of the front four were solid last game. The other two of the front four were the other one on the front four was just miserable. The other side just got washed out. And then you have the linebackers that were just horrible all game last game. So the real test is going to be on the other side of the ball. I think that's where the pressure is. Tony White and figuring out what he needs to do to get that defense to trigger and stop this Miami run game and get pressure on Beck. That's where all of the pressure is going to be on that defense. But I don't think it's going to be on Malzahn at all. I think it's legitimately going to be on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I agree, man. And I'll just add to that like when you say pressure, like I don't think Tony White's under any crazy pressure. At the end of the day, I think regardless of what happens, people kind of realize what he's working with, and like he's already pulled miracles. And we'll see where we end up at the end of the year ranking wise. But yeah, I feel like Gus Malzahn this year is just playing with house money, dude. And I love that you're repping PCB. Holler at my boy Javian Elliott next time you see him around there. Go pick up his book. He's a great dude, and we appreciate you calling in. Did you have any other thoughts or questions?
Oh man, that's all. I'm going to be there. The game is going to be hype, and hopefully we can get it, pull it through. But just go nose all the way, and we're not worried about them teams. They're not going to be there.
Tell him, man. I think Gus is going to score. He's going to score. That's what he does. Just going to be up to can Tony White slow the Canes down enough, cause some key turnovers. First down. It's all about first down. Obviously, third down and fourth down, but first down. Can Tony White scheme up something? Because make no mistake, I'm just going to say it. I make no qualms about it. Miami's offensive line versus our D line is a mismatch. They have a stud O-line, but what you can do is eat up double teams with Darryl. 10 ain't going to pick up a double team, unfortunately. Maybe you can get another double team with the Desir twins and these linebackers because they're going to run duo all night. That's what they're going to do. They're going to double us. These linebackers, if they can play right, if he can scheme up the safety blitzing into the right hole and you can get negative plays on first down, we could have a Clemson situation if that happens. We'll see. But I just need to do them to do that enough times. And I feel like Gus scores, like 6 out of 8 drives like he does. We'll see. But that's my feelings on it. And yeah.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you on that. And to add to that, did he cut out there?
Yeah, I think we lost him there.
Oh, okay. But to add to what you were saying there, that's going to be it. It's whether or not, and I don't want to say it's like pressure, like he's going to lose his job or something like that. No, not at all. What I'm saying is what we all as Florida State fans are going to be watching is whether or not this defense is going to come back and look better than they did against Virginia. That's what I mean by pressure on Tony White, because I went back and watched that game. I've watched that game 4 times now, the Virginia game. And the big glaring weakness in that game the entire time was the linebacking core, and then some plays where specific players, 0 in particular, and 31 were just not in the proper position or did not make key tackles where they could have been able to go downfield. Okay, so they didn't make key tackles and they allowed the players to go downfield and score. That's what the issue is. So that's what I mean by pressure there. But you are 100% correct. Miami's O-line is going to be the best unit on the field on either side of the ball. They just have a better O-line. And their whole thing is to have these long, plodding-ass drives, and that's exactly what we want to do. So if they're going to come out there and they're going to do that, then it's going to be a long game. It's going to be a long night for us because then we're going to have to keep swapping out our starters to get these other guys in there because they're going to want to lean on us until they get to that fourth quarter. But if we go out there and do what we do, we can do the same damn thing. I don't think we want to do that. I actually think we want to go the other way and speed that up.
Yes.
Make Mesidor, make all of them boys have to play 40, 50, 60, 70 snaps. And we keep going.
Maximum possessions. We want maximum possessions.
Once they have to swap them out now, and we have them where we want them, now we just keep going high tempo so Bain and all of them boys can't get back on the field. That way we can just keep going downfield, and put points up on the board. Once we get them off and get them out of there, then that's where we want to go. But it all starts with us making sure that we control them trenches and then get positive yards on first down, like you said. So I'm with you on that 100%.
So I agree 100%. I think we're in lockstep on that. We got another caller, Monty from Duval County. has just joined us. What you got for us, man?
Hello, doing that. A couple questions. First thing, I'm a little confused on why, game day went to Alabama Vandy.
You and me both, buddy. You and me both.
As a matter of fact, this is probably one of the games, I think, of the year. In years, Miami and Florida State haven't been ranked at the same time and have the caliber for both teams, to give props to both. But I seen something on TV today releasing about the depth chart, and I was wondering what y'all thought about maybe them keeping some of that back. I know that I heard there was a rule to where they had to release all that information because you can get fined. But I was wondering what y'all think about that. Whether you think either team might help a little bit back when it came to that depth up. I was a little concerned about hearing whether Squirrel was healthy for this game.
Yeah, there's a new rule, and I love it. There's, we talk a lot of shit about the ACC, but they've done a couple things right this year with taking out the games with the injury report. It's more NFL like. You got to do the injury report every week, and also being able to hear the reviews, even though they still get it wrong. At least we know the dumb shit they were talking about when they were trying to figure out the plays. Tommy's probable. I can't remember. I have to look back at it. I don't know if Squirrel's probable. But from everything I understand, I think that's more of a I look for Tommy to be 100%. Squirrel, everything I heard, he's going to be fine. And Squirrel isn't a guy they need to play 60 snaps. They need him to play 5 to 10 snaps, really, because he's not going to be out there doing much blocking in the normal kind of scheme of the offense. If he's out there, he's going to be working maybe a motion or a screen or, going deep. Or lull him to sleep every time he gets out there. It's this or that. It's a screen, and then next thing you know, he goes down the field. So I think Squirrel will be able to give a chance to contribute. And that's my thoughts on that one.
Yeah, I agree.
What do y'all feel about the hype with the playing at Tallahassee? Or do you think that might be an edge? Do you think the crowd's going to fill out enough for that, where we can maybe drown out some of them plays they're trying to call in or create some confusion?
Go look up Carson Beck's record on the road and how many interceptions he threw on the road last year. I believe 10 interceptions on the road and not that many games. If you go look at Georgia's cake-ass schedule they had last year, it was a cakewalk. When he was in tough games on the road, he threw picks, okay? And again, I'm sorry if you missed the first part of the show, but yeah, you hit the nail on the head. We've really been talking about that. I'm going to let Tiny Hat take that second part of the question about whether the home field advantage is any good or not. But yeah, just go dig into Carson Beck and his history with the road. And this is Miami's first road game at the worst possible place to have to play Florida State. But what do you think? You think it'll be a factor, Tiny Hat?
What? Did you see what our crowd did to Bama? Of course it's going to be a factor. Miami, first, anytime Miami go to Florida State to go to Doak, it's always a factor, always. So this game here, with the way that this fan base is rallied around this team, I legitimately like this team. This team is a likable squad. The Florida State fan base has embraced this squad. Tommy Castellanos pissed all of us off 2 years ago when he was out there making us look bad up there. He pissed all of us off, and that man has stepped into this program. And he's like, yeah, he acts just like the Florida State fan base does when it comes to his grit. He wants to get out there and ball, and he wants to play, and he want to talk his shit, and he goes and backs it up. That's what Florida State football is, and that's what this fan base is. So for us to be so energized and to be so in and just love this team the way we love this team, I wholeheartedly expect Doak to be on 10. It's going to be on full tilt. If we had that old school joint with the lights that used to light up when we got loud out there at Doak.
Spear, man. Why don't they bring that shit back?
Taggart tried to bring it back, and they were like, nah, son. Just like with the white end zones. Why we can't get the white end zones?
Taggart tried to do a lot of shit in Tallahassee.
Come on, bro. Like, why we ain't we ain't got no war daddies on the squad, but like I want to get back to some of that old school, that 90s right there, man. If we had that spirit stick up there, I'm telling you, the spear up there, the flame on that motherfucker would be at an all-time high. It's gonna be lights out. It's gonna be lights out up there, and them boys gonna come out with their hair on fire. And I think run down on that Miami pack. We're gonna put that Miami pack in the air on Saturday.
All right, well, we still got the 2 callers here on the line. I'm gonna give you both a chance to.
Y'all take care, man.
All right, appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Well, if there's one more caller left, do you want to say anything before we hang up and open up the lines again? Now's your time, brother.
Love watching both of y'all, man. And seen you the other day, Tiny Hat, man, on another show with the female, man. They're looking out. Hopefully, maybe y'all have a pregame tomorrow. I'll be looking out for that.
Probably not going to have a pregame, but maybe a postgame, depending on how thing goes. And it's the Renegade Roast, baby. Jen Santee, the angel, the lovely goddess up in Memphis, our very good friend, at Jen Santee 1890 on Twitter. Y'all make sure y'all check the roast every week. Thanks for the call and the love, brother.
Hey, I'll just let you know right now, I'm calling her the female for at least once on Monday. At least once
on the show with the female.
She gonna cuss me out too. It's gonna be
that's funny. You gotta love it. Hey, I sit here just, I sit back and laugh my ass off for a good hour and a half every week. I love it.
It's great.
Anything on your mind before we get out of here? Is there anything we haven't talked about?
Nah, I think we touched on on everything there. I think I'll say this. The one thing that I'm gonna look at outside of our front seven against that Miami front, that's gonna be the first key that we want to look at. I really want to see what our receivers do against that Miami secondary. We haven't really seen them tested at all. And I think that if we're using the run game like we normally would, I would like to see what type of passing concepts Gus is going to have. Like, is he going to move the pocket? Is he going to create lanes for Tommy to throw the ball across the middle? Because we'll see him throw across the middle every once in a while, but we can't just go feast or famine all the time with the deep ball like that. It is a good thing for us to have, but we can't always go feast or famine with that. So I want to see what the passing game is going to look like with our wide receivers against their DBs, because they have the one good kid, the one guy, the Frederic kid. But outside of that, the rest of that is a lot of patchwork, and I want to see what that looks like with Deuce and Score White going up there. And I want to see Jalen Lucas out there on the field, man. I want to see Jalen Lucas out there on the field. Get that man more touches. No reason that man should have one touch and break off a big run like that, and we don't see him again for the rest of the game. Nah, let's get out here. You can't say you didn't put something on film. You had to dig into your bag of tricks to make sure that we were on point at Virginia. Now I want to see our big dogs out here on the block doing work. And that's something that I definitely want to take a look at, is how our wide receivers handle them DBs and what type of personnel we're going to put out there on that offense. But the main focus, if I had to rank them, number one is going to be what our front seven does against that Miami O-line. The second thing I want to see is what our receivers are going to look like against those DBs. And then the third thing that I want to look at is the personnel that we put out there. That's definitely what I want to see in this game.
Yeah, man, Deuce, he's like on the verge right now. Like, he's a big game against Miami from being like superstar status. Like, he's done some amazing things. Like, if you catch that ball over again, but there's just little things here. You catch this ball, you do this a little bit better. But no, he's amazing. He's a true number one, but he's like difference in like competing for awards of top wide receiver. He's like on that verge of that happening. Not the best necessarily offense for it, but at the same time, it is too. Like, you remember playing Auburn in the national championship game. Like, they're not an offense that you can, okay, Jalen Ramsey's covering you all night, and he's got this side of the field locked down. It's not that standard offense. They're going to have your cornerbacks tackling for 5 minutes going down a drive, and the next thing you know, oh shit, he ran by me. Like, that's just what they're going to do. So, yeah, Deuce can capitalize. It's hard to explain. There's such a low volume in the passing game that each one of those, to your point, that go route in that post is really important that we hit one of the two. Yep. Like, if we're going to throw two, we better hit one of them damn posts, because if not, they're like, who gives a shit? We're just going to keep clogging the middle and you're done. But yeah, and that's People are comparing Deuce to all kind of people. Jimbo is comparing him to Kelvin. I said he's somewhere between Keon and Johnny, somewhere in there. But unfortunately,
Absolutely.
he had a drop. If you want to call that a drop in the end zone, we don't need those
Man, that
parts
was
for
a
the
drop.
first
That was a
end zone.
catch, bro.
Yes,
That was
it
a
was.
catch.
It was a catch.
That was a
Yeah.
catch.
I deserve to be
all-
banned for that.
And anybody who say different, you just a hater. The man caught the ball with his fingertips and then closed his hands around the ball. If you look at, he catches it with his fingertips. So they had to
If it
go to
could have been
super slow-mo.
pre-digital, if it was pre-digital, if we could have been like Miami era, that would have definitely been a catch. You know, unfortunately, these jokers are zooming in 4K, and it's like, oh well, he went from his fingertips to his palms. He put it away when he was out of bounds. Yeah, but he had control of it. Like,
Right. How you
whatever.
how you gonna be able to put it away if you don't have control? And that just shows why we need to get the hell out of this plebeian ass conference.
Yep. And on that note, guys, I'm ready. 37-34. What was yours? 31-24 or 21? 34-21.
I think I said 34-21. I think we'll be up a touchdown on them, and then at the end of the game we'll put up another one. So it could be like 21-28, and then we hit them with some shit and get them up.
I'll definitely take Tiny Hat scenario over mine. But yeah, that's my feeling. It's a bit closer, but yeah, go Noles. And again, make sure you're here Monday for the roast. And stay tuned. Who knows? We may pop up and do a little halftime or a post game show tomorrow, depending on how things go and what everybody's got going on. But again, appreciate you guys joining us. We're going to start doing these regularly again. My work life has been crazy. Jen's work life has changed. My guy Tiny Hat has really been helping out. He's been there kind of every time we do something. We really appreciate him filling in for Jen. And yeah, we love you guys. It's all about the Noles right here at the Renegade Report. And we'll see you guys next time.
Go to